So Bella and I have just got here this morning. So what I'm going to do is do a video of my first walk round to check on all the young animals in the vivs and things. So anybody else can see what we need to do when we first get here in the morning. So I usually start off in the same place. And I come right over here and go to our mealworm farm first. The reason I always do it in the same place is if we systematically work our way around the room, we make sure we don't miss anything. So I've just got to put the camera down for a minute because this bit needs two hands. So lovely sunny day out there in Swad. And this is why I always try and clear a space on my desk in the morning, in the evening, because when I come back in the morning, I use my desk like this. So there's the mealworm farm. And I need a spray bottle like this. Hoping you can see this. And I check each drawer. The first drawer I check is the bottom one. That's where the pupae is. There you go, you see? Mealworm pupae. I need to check that and see if there's any beetles in there. There isn't today, so they just get a very brief 2 squirts of the squibber and move on. I need to have a look at the worms. The worms look pretty disgusting. Let me just show you. There they are, all squirming about. They've got various bits of food in there. The black bits are where they've shed their shell casings. And occasionally we have a big clean out and get rid of all of those. What I'm looking for is any pupae. Let me show you. Oh. There's one there. See how that one's different? Yeah. And that one. If we left those in, the worms would eat them, and they're what we want to hatch into beetles. So that's what we're looking for. We're trying to get some of those. So I'm going to put the camera down so as I can move them. They're going to get moved into this tray at the bottom where the pupae is. Eventually they're going to hatch into these guys. There's the beetles. And the reason that's mesh on the bottom is those guys lay eggs which get dropped into the worms to produce the next lot of worms. So just bear with me a minute. Let me put the camera down. Hopefully you can see a bit of what I'm doing. I'm supposed to wear gloves for this, health and safety. This is because mealworms can carry salmonella. So because I'm going to touch it, you can use the tweezers for this. I find it easier to just pick them up. Pop each one in. They do still wriggle a bit. You know, they're not totally... People think they'll be like a chrysalis and be dried out. They're not. Just take a minute to have a little look through. There's all different sizes of worms in here. And every so often we take some of the bigger ones out and feed them to the animals that we've got in here. Right, so that's all the pupa out. So give a quick spray, and we do the same to the worms. The worms get a little bit more of a spray, and occasionally if there was no food things in there, they get a little bit more food. Sometimes they eat a little bit dog food, sometimes they have veggies. You can probably see from when I have the camera in, they have oats, little bits of egg, and they like veggies. Leave the mealworm drawer open as you pull the beetle one open. Otherwise you get bits dropping all over my desk. Give the beetles a quick squib as well. No animal can survive without water. The gloves go back on top unless you rip them. If you accidentally rip them, that's fine. Then you just replace them with a fresh one. I just don't think we need to put fresh gloves on there every time. And the tweezers go on top as well. That goes back on top of the snake viv. Then the next one we lift down. These are Dubai roaches. So this viv slides open like this. You need to check there's nothing on the top before you do that. There they are. This is a breeding colony. We're breeding these as food for the reptiles. So you get all different sizes in there. These guys like to be kept damp. They've been eating bits of carrot. They'll also eat dead ones of their own family, so we can leave them in there briefly. We take out anything that's mouldy. Give them a decent squib. You do have to watch they don't suddenly come crawling out because they think it's too damp. But they usually do absolutely fine with this. Just need a nice bit of dampness over the top, like that. They burrow down in the soil, have their babies. We don't feed the adults to the animals here. We feed the sort of juvenile ones. Just need to put this down so I can close it properly. One of the most important things you're making sure is that all the bibs are closed really securely. Some of them are more fiddly than others. I like these, these are easy. That one goes back on top of the snake. The snake that's in here is a baby boa. And she's hiding, you can just see her nose hiding in there. Yep. So we're just checking that that she's actually looking okay and that her viv is nice and secure. If she's at that end, you can give a little squib in this end, just onto her water to keep it topped up and to slightly increase the humidity. Unless you are one of our reptile experts, you're unlikely to ever have to do anything more than that to her. But if you're concerned, if you see something you don't like, then phone and just ask. But there's not much you can do with her. The water in that bottle, by the way,